Hello everybody, welcome back to another video of Fantastic Talks, bringing you back with another Spider-Man video today. Joining me today is Rob.
Hello.
How are you feeling about this? You excited? You got some stuff to say?
I do, yeah. Well,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, where do we start? Big Spider-Man nerd himself, obviously. We had some stuff to say when we were at work together, so...
I mean Venom.
Did you watch it at the showcase? Did you watch it live?
No, I saw the clip after. I think I was asleep when it came out on the showcase. And to be honest, it sounded like the rest of the showcase was dog shit.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Oh mate, I was sat there for like an hour and 15 minutes, just going for just fucking show it something already. Not even like anything to do with Wolverine, because Insomniac is doing Wolverine. They didn't reveal much about that, but there was some cool stuff. Metal Gear Solid. We got Metal Gear Solid remake coming out. Bit of Street Fighter. There was a couple of cool games, but most of them were just like indie related and whatnot.
Yeah, no, I think Spider-Man's definitely the only thing really I care about.
Dude, they did that on purpose. Like they played that well, like just to keep everyone glued to the showcase. So,
but yeah.
Oh mate,
where's Venom?
Yeah. So where do we go? Where do we start? So what we're gonna do? We're gonna sort of go over the trailer again, sort of analyze it, break it down, see what's going on, and because I've got a lot of theories and predictions to say about this and what the story could delve into. So see, now this guy, at first when this trailer was revealed, I wouldn't have thought this was Spider-Man related. I just thought this was maybe another, like, I don't know, Call of Duty game or something. And then I sort of like was looking at the face thinking, and then he pulls this knife out. For a split second, I thought it was a Wolverine related thing.
Obviously I clicked on it as a Spider-Man 2 video.
Yeah.
I was so scared that this was meant to be Kraven.
Do you know what? Yeah, because he said Sergey.
I was so happy when
I couldn't tell who was
Kraven
speaking.
starts
Yeah.
speaking.
Oh my god.
When you just see him on his own, you see like tattoos and like he looks cool, but it's like I wanted the coat.
But the coat's there. Like it's got the little thing.
He's got the coat, but
the first guy you see, you thought it was Kraven. Yeah.
I was like,
Oh mate,
making me happy.
Dude, like he looks so good though. Like it's insane. Like you can even see like the vague lion eyes that's going on. You got the claws going on as well, like teeth and such. Got all the fluff going on around this jacket. It's so awesome. And then it's this next bit. Like now, I just want to sort of go over this of all the people that he's showing on the map. So we're obviously going to see some like recurring characters coming back. So we got Black Cat coming back. Did you play you played the first game as well as the DLC, right?
Yeah.
Like so all of DLC.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a
all
while
the
ago. But
oh, okay, I was gonna say so. So I was kind of hoping that Black Cat was going to come back for this, and it shows we've got Prowler coming back. Prowler, I'm kind of excited because I'm hoping that Kraven and Prowler are going to have a little bit of a meet up. Prowler would be a really good like showdown against Kraven because of how similar he is. We got now. Did you notice this girl, Wraith? Do you know who she is?
No.
You know what's her name? Captain Watanabe Yuri.
Yeah.
So do you remember the DLC side mission where she sort of went like all vigilante and bit nutso? Yeah. Do you know her situation in the comics?
No, I assume she turns into Wraith.
She turns into Wraith, yeah. So they did like they were in the DLC they were setting her up to become Wraith. I didn't really know too much about Watanabe and who she is as Wraith until it was like sort of being set up and stuff on social media was sort of like being talked about her. And yeah, she sort of becomes her own vigilante and sort of goes against like sort of the law and such. So pretty cool. We're going to see an actual like storyline behind that and where she's been all this time and in secret. So I'm looking forward to seeing what she's all about there. We've got Tombstone coming back and seeing what she's going to do with that. Obviously it's Peter Spidey, Miles Spidey. We also got, now I couldn't make out who this was, and now I can tell it's Lizard. We also got
that's
TaskMaster. Up there is Shocker. Now, one thing I'm really looking for, I'm really hoping that would happen, and a lot of people have been saying this online. Did you used to watch the animated series?
I've seen some of it.
Some of it. Do you know that like the clip of Symbiote Spider-Man against Shocker, and he starts yelling, going after him?
Get back here, Shocker! Shocker!
I really want that scene. Like interpreted into the game somehow. It doesn't have to be like over the top like that, but like if Shocker's in this, I'm hoping that they are doing something for fan base there.
Yeah.
So and like speaking of Black Suit Spidey now one thing that interests me about Symbiote Spidey here, again, I've seen people online talk about this. Now you saw how I lost my shit here with how good he looked and all the tendrils that are coming out of him. Notice how when he's sort of transforming, it sort of doesn't focus until it's on the actual suit. There's a theory that now there's, you know how you can wear like all types of alternate costumes in like the first game. It's going to be the same case with this game. I heard ages ago when they first revealed the game, when it showed like sort of Spidey and Miles fighting Kraven's goons and you saw Venom at the end, there was like more info about the game after that, and there was some piece of information that they said whatever costume you use as Peter, it will have its own black suit. Ooh. Which would be really interesting. And this little animation,
bombastic bag man.
Can you imagine? Yeah, it's how goofy that would look. And this little animation is theorized that indicates it. So look how it like sort of
completely. Yeah,
it's all quite thick.
Like he's wearing cargo pants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's trying to figure out what to do, and then it fixes itself on the suit itself. So obviously he's wearing the suit for the main game, the advanced suit or whatever. So because you can tell it's got the engraving of the like arms and stuff like that. So that would make a lot of sense if that's the case.
The anime, like the manga suits that you get, where it's kind of cartoony.
Yeah, like the Mangaverse one.
Cool.
Oh my god, that's gonna look insane. But double takedowns, that wasn't a thing in the first game, so I'm excited. I'm excited to do all that. Some of the like, I'm digging Miles' new like Venom stun stuff
and
going
the
on.
Fact that
Kamehameha!
and one of the guards saying, "Watch out for his new abilities."
Yeah. So
just to like home in on the fact. Like, it's fairly obvious.
Yeah.
But it's also just a home in on the fact.
Yeah.
That he has got new shit that he's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it looks insane. I love that it's like blue now. Like he's like sort of managed to master his abilities now. But yeah, I'm pretty stoked so far. The gameplay already looks amazing to me. What do you think? Because this seems like it's already quite far into the game. And Peter's already had the suit for a while.
Well,
like
I said to you, I said this before to you. I feel like they could have easily taken basically just the first part of this game and shown us that, and that because you're able to switch between Miles and Peter, we're seeing Peter's journey to getting the black suit.
Yeah.
Through Miles, and that we're not actually going to see it straight away. He'll just already have Venom's suit.
Yeah.
And then slowly through the game, maybe we start to learn a bit more about it through Miles's perspective. Because the other thing is, where's Venom? Like, they put him in the teaser trailer. Venom.
Yeah.
Yeah, Peter is much more aggressive in this, and he's got the symbiote suit, but it's not...
But he would have had to grab that from Harry already, because he says that Harry's dying because he hasn't got the suit anymore. So obviously, by this point, he must be playing as Peter, meeting with Harry at one point. Because obviously, normal release we would know he's released Harry after, because you played Miles Morales, haven't you? You see how it ended.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But also, if they're following along to normal Spider-Man canon and ignoring, the whole Venom Sony thing of Peter gets the suit first.
Yeah.
Originally, Peter gets the suit from another planet whilst going on a holiday trip with the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
And then that's how it's got the emblem. So, I do think this is previous to Venom coming out. It's...
I don't know. I just feel like...
how far ahead.
Yeah, I don't think
I feel it's quite a good way of introducing it. To be honest, it could even be just a segment for a trailer. They could have done this and loosely base it on the actual story, and that it doesn't actually happen in the game at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like...
It would explain some of the sloppiness that some people are complaining about like the puddles and water effects.
Oh my
and
god,
shit
yeah.
like that.
People have really been bitching about this game already.
Yeah.
Like, it looks amazing. Look at the fucking like water effects. Like,
and the different targeting.
yeah,
It's
changed.
Just little tiny things like that.
Because it's been a case because even the first game had this. When they first showed the game at like showcases and whatnot, they still like changed a few things near the time the game was coming out. So we could be seeing a complete different segment here later on when the game is released. But with the things of like, because if you remember back at that first teaser trailer when they first announced the game, I don't know if it was just a case of them it being like what you're gonna see, who Spidey, Peter, and Miles are gonna fight. Venom's gonna be the villain in the game. Doesn't show who Venom actually is, but I wouldn't think that they sort of would do false marketing on the case that like Peter and Miles together will fight Venom.
Yeah.
So someone's gonna become Venom at some point. But there's a theory that I kind of wouldn't mind it because it's something different, but I'm also worried at the same time.
I think I know what you're going to say, and I don't know whether I agree.
Especially with the way he's being corrupted already here. The way he's speaking, especially. There's a theory that Peter will probably become Venom first. Do you reckon not?
No, I think...
Because in the Ultimate Comics he sort of did before it went on Eddie. And at some point, Miles, I can predict that Miles, you're going to be playing as Miles to fight Peter.
Maybe, but I feel like with Peter's character, he almost always is the reason why he will take off the suit. It's not anyone else. It will almost always be him realising he's gone too far.
Yeah.
Or he's doing way too many emo dance moves. Outside shops.
Does a lot of like bullying.
Yeah. So I'm fine with them playing him. I'm excited about him being more aggressive, you know. But I don't want them to make him the only Venom. I want him at some point to realise, shit, I don't want this.
Yeah.
And it to go away, because the other thing is people are talking about other candidates for possible Venom. Eddie Brock is the obvious. And to be honest, my favourite.
Yeah.
Matt Gargan is already in the universe because he was in the first one, Scorpion. But
I doubt they'll do anything with him anymore now.
Yeah.
Like...
Also the fact that he's not a very exciting first Venom.
Yeah.
This is going to be the first Venom, we assume. In terms of the universe's canon.
Yeah.
So I don't think Matt Gargan is a good idea. And otherwise it's Harry Osborn.
Harry, I probably wouldn't mind, but again, because it was a thing in the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon, but I just...
Oh, and Flash Thompson, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, Thompson maybe, but his is more... You could set Flash up for later on, maybe in the third game, if there even is a third game, but like... Yeah, you think the obvious choice is Eddie, because Eddie his name was referenced in the first game. When you do when you get the collectibles, there's like a goodbye card for Peter at the Daily Bugle, and Eddie signs it, so he is mentioned. And I don't know, it's just more, especially with like the Venom movies right now, and Eddie Brock is like the candidate for that. I would imagine for marketing purposes they'd want to keep using Eddie Brock as the main candidate for Venom. So. I'm hoping,
and he's just so much, especially in the comics, he's so much more of a beefy Venom than all the others. They seem, I don't know, I never really liked the look of Matt Gargan's Venom.
Yeah, I didn't mind his look, but
Flash, because he's Agent Venom. It's, I don't know, he's a bit military looking, and I don't know.
Well, with Flash, it's
we could always see
it's Agent Venom, isn't it?
We could always see the second appearance of Groot Venom.
Oh God, I'd rather not. I don't know.
They could do a crossover with Guardians of the Galaxy.
No.
Bring them in at the end, and then Venom attaches to Groot, and then sets up.
No, we don't need Guardians of the Galaxy.
Spider-Man Guardians of the Galaxy crossover event.
No, I don't want that.
Yeah?
No. Spider-Man. We don't need game crossovers like let the gaming universe be its own thing. I don't know.
So you're saying you wouldn't want Wolverine to make a surprise cameo?
I don't know,
in
Wolverine
this?
maybe, because I trust Insomniac know what they're doing. Like, because they already have their own sort of universe, which makes me wonder if Wolverine will be in this. Because in Ultimate Spider-Man game, you could fight Wolverine as Venom,
or at least a reference to Logan.
Yeah, to set up his game,
or like the MCU's reference in She-Hulk to like man with metal claws bar fight.
Yeah, exactly.
Something like that.
Because there was rumors that somehow that was connected to the Insomniac version, weirdly, and I don't know why that would be the case. Mate, if the combat system for the black suit looks this amazing, Wolverine is going to be phenomenal, and that's what I'm so excited about. What is your opinion on Lizard's look? Because I was a bit bummed that we saw him already like fucking massive. Like, because I feel like they're going the whole like mega lizard route again. I mean, you can sort of see it, but like he looks like an iguana to me. Like,
yeah.
I'm hoping we still see him with the lab coat when you first see him transform.
I think how they played it with the trailer, well, with the gameplay trailer, was good in the way that they do that horror trope of, oh, there's a noise and then the flash of a big shape.
Yeah.
And then they show you out in broad daylight. Obviously, we don't get an amazing, like you're trying to find here. We're not getting an amazing shot of exactly what he looks like.
Yeah.
But I think it works.
Because they mentioned that he's getting bigger. So you probably do see him a lot smaller when Connors first transforms into him.
And I also think, based on them saying he's getting bigger, he's not only just getting bigger, he's changing how he looks.
Yeah.
So that's probably why he looks...
It looks like Abomination there.
Yeah.
Like, because I feel... Because if it's taking inspiration from the Spider-Man 3 game, Spider-Man 3, the game, had you... After you defeat Kraven, it had you fight Lizard, like, gigantic.
Yeah.
Like, he turned into Mega Lizard, pretty much. And he had this, like, all sorts of, like, stuff going out of his head. It was insane. And it was like probably like it was a terrifying boss when I first played it, and you can't like fight him normally because you have to sort of swing on his back and sort of guide him towards an electrical panel of some sort to like sort of paralyze him a bit, and then start like, I don't know, like doing all sorts of quick time events to take him down. So I mean, even so, his boss fight is probably going to be quite insane. So, but yeah, I don't know, like.
It's trying to work out how much of the story we're seeing here.
Yeah, like,
because obviously we've got Lizard.
I generally feel like Lizard, Kraven, and Venom are the big baddies.
We've got Kraven and we've got Venom. I don't know whether Lizard is necessarily one of the baddies as such. He's just another character.
Yeah,
and that we might not get a chance to fight him necessarily, and just more of this sort of thing. Of, you know, lots of traversal, chasing after him, saving people, and basically fucking up Kraven's men.
Yeah, like, because I feel like the whole Kraven, because if we're gonna take like the route that the first game did, Kraven was like the Mr. Lee of the villain of the game, who you thought was the real villain. But later on, I didn't expect Dr. Octopus to turn out to be the villain in the first game. Nor did I expected the Sinister Six. Because I thought it was going to be Green Goblin for the first game. The way they were teasing it in the trailers, especially with Norman Osborn. So it sort of tricked us, which is why I'm trying not to. I feel like they could be doing the same thing here, where Venom probably isn't the real villain and someone else is going to be later, which I'm wondering, is Green Goblin going to be set up here? Is some shit going to go down? Because is Harry going to end up dying eventually? Because Peter somehow took the suit off them.
Even more insane than he already
is. Exactly. Like, will that drive Norman like towards like the super serum or whatever it was to? Because he's obviously working on another type of cure maybe, and that's what makes him try to create the Goblin formula. So
the other option is obviously whenever we've got Venom, there's always the possibility
of Carnage.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there is always the possibility that the Venom symbiote will attach to someone, or in my thoughts, something else. Obviously, we see it on Peter in this. I hope it's going to be Eddie. Could we see a Venom lizard? A massive.
If they really want to try something
lizard.
different, yeah, because again, if Web of Shadows is the big like inspiration for this game, so I've heard, we could see some sort of like similarity to that a couple of villains could get the Venom suit. Maybe Kraven could get the Venom suit. Who knows? Like, just to give him that power boost to face up against Spidey.
It was a bit conflicting though. With I feel like Venom would be the sort of character that Kraven would be having on his hunt.
Yeah, because I thought that as well, rather than going after
together.
Spidey. Like,
well, no, I see him going after Spidey, but I would have thought Venom is also in that sort of category. I don't feel like Kraven is the sort to team up with someone like Venom.
No.
Maybe sometimes, but when in what this story looks like, in terms of Kraven's basically going around trying to kidnap a bunch of people.
Yeah.
I don't know whether they'll join forces, so it's how they both fit in.
Yeah.
But I mean, how many of the villains from the first one do you think we'll see?
Well, so we had the six.
We had the 6,
including Shocker and Tombstone, Kingpin. So that's 8 there. Does TaskMaster count? Technically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose.
Someone else I feel like was involved.
But like,
I really hope what's her name's not in it. Screwball. Fuck off. Please, no Screwball. I hope she fucking rots in jail. Who else? I don't know if there was another villain. I mean, if you want to include the DLC, Hammerhead, even though they kind of did him dirty in that. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I want to see what happened to like Kingpin in that, because I'd imagine he would start to build his empire again. I want to see. I mean, let's sort of go through the villains that were mentioned in the first game but weren't in it. Sandman, Mysterio. I'd love to see Mysterio in this.
it would be cool.
Imagine his boss fight. It will always be
like,
quite fuckery.
I feel like for Mysterio, they want to leave him until another time, because they've set up Kraven and they've set up Venom.
This is what I mean.
And Lizard.
You've got the big villains here.
whether-
How can you fit in the other villains? That's why I'm thinking a lot of side missions could be involved.
Just because,
maybe for Miles to take on.
Mysterio would be great.
Yeah.
Just seeing it in film. That was by far the best part of, in my opinion, other than seeing Toby and Andrew. Of the 3 Spider-Man films, those Mysterio fights are the best.
Yeah, because it really showed what he could do as an illusionist. You know, that's what I want to see in the game one day, which is why I'm hoping he could possibly be in this. You know, so otherwise, I would like to see Hydro Man, but again, I just don't know how they could fit those villains into this type of like story that's happening right now. I just don't know if it would sort of break away from that. Because I genuinely feel like this is going to have a dark setting to it as the more the game goes on. And I genuinely feel like someone's going to die in this. You had... Who died in the first game? Someone died. Aunt May?
May died.
I did... never would I have expected Aunt May to die in anything other than... I know she's died in the comics a couple of times, but I've never seen her die in live action or in a game before. And I tell you what, the scene when she died... First game that's ever made me tear up in a game, and I've never because I just didn't see it coming. So if they could surprise us with that, someone else will not you wouldn't expect to die is going to die.
Yeah.
And I have a theory of who it could be, and this is why I think if Peter becomes Venom, it could lead into Peter doing the Spider-Man No More thing, passing the mantle to Miles to be the official Spider-Man, even though he already technically is. But I'm just saying to be the only Spider-Man left.
Yeah.
It could lead Peter to he would have so much guilt because of what the Venom suit did to him, and you could do the Spider-Man No More thing. You could possibly do Kraven's Last Hunt, but to have Peter not be Spider-Man anymore, there's a chance. You know, Miles' mother.
Yeah.
There's a chance. People have theorized that she could die in this. because she has died in the comics, and it was against Venom. Venom in the comic at one point in the Ultimate Spider-Man Miles Morales comics, I can't remember how it came about, but Venom somehow he was sort of causing like havoc in like a hospital for some reason. So Miles was trying to get everyone out of here, and his mother in the comics is a nurse. So Miles was trying to get everyone out, and his mother was sort of helping out. Some shit fucking goes down. Miles and Venom had this like massive fight. I don't know if it was like rubble or Venom shot some tendrils at people and such, and sort of like pierced through people. Once the fight was over, everyone was silent in the panels, and Miles sort of turns and her mother's on the floor.
Yeah.
Like bleeding. Did I say who that was?
You said her.
Oh, his mother is on the floor, bleeding to death. And I think that led to Miles sort of having a no more Spider-Man type thing story. Which is why I genuinely think if it's going to be if people are theorizing that Peter's going to be the one to become Venom before Eddie becomes, and he's the one that accidentally kills Miles' mother, all hell's going to break loose for Miles, and there's going to be a weird breakdown between Miles and Peter's relationship, and I think that's going to have an interesting dynamic, because these two pretty much looked up to each other like brothers.
Yeah. By
this point, they would have like sort of like become good friends. So it's just like I can see this going a downhill path, and it could end on a cliffhanger for all we know. You know, like Peter decides not to be Spider-Man anymore. Miles is sort of like depressed. I don't know.
Because that's ending-wise, that's also another thing to think of.
Possible ending, but we could be expecting something completely different. But it's a possible death.
Post this, story-wise, what do you think they're going to bring out games-wise?
How do you mean?
Do you think we're going to get a Spider-Man 3? Are we going to get Miles Morales 2?
If my prediction is correct, just for argument's sake, go with that. If they end up doing, because I could generally see them doing this whole Spider-Man No More storyline. But it all depends if Green Goblin is going to be in this at the end, and how he dies and Norman becomes Green Goblin. Because for all we know, they could pull a Gwen on Mary Jane. Maybe that could be the reason that Peter becomes Spider-Man No More, because he lost the woman he loved. So there's a lot of things they could do with how the storyline could go down in a darker way to end in such a tragic way. Miles' mother could die. Mary Jane could die. Harry could die. Can you imagine how many people could die?
Peter could die.
That's the one thing that people keep theorizing way back when the teaser was announced. Like,
story-wise,
and I don't think he should die yet. I think they should save that for the third game, if there is a third game.
Story-wise, I think...
Imagine that dynamic when Miles says goodbye to him.
Story-wise, I think it might fit if, for the most of the first part of the game, you've got the symbiote suit. Symbiote. You've got the symbiote suit as Peter.
Yeah.
And Miles or someone else manages to get through to Peter, tell him...
I reckon they might fight each other in Peter's brain, like because
they could do.
Because because like sort of like how you got to fight Lee in his mind. They could do that for the symbiote.
But if they then get to the point where Peter's able to cast off the suit, and then he still dies at the end, story-wise, I feel like that's a pretty, you know, other than the fact that it's Spider-Man and people are gonna fucking hate Insomniac.
Yeah.
It would work quite well.
I
can see that being a very powerful story for them to pull. But
maybe I don't know. I just feel like his death would because I heard that Peter's Spidey was going to have a trilogy for a game back when they first were developing the first game, or just after the game came out. Whether they've changed their mind since then, I don't know. I genuinely think they should save that death for Peter in the third game. Then it sort of comes full circle. Maybe they don't kill him off. Might be a whole like Batman Arkham Knight situation where everyone thinks he's dead, but he technically isn't dead. Yeah. Like, and he's just sort of in the background trying to protect the city in his own way. I don't know. Like, because just for a character like Spider-Man, it's hard for me to believe that Peter could die. Like, I don't know. But...
Well, because I think
especially if they do Kraven's Last Hunt, because technically Peter did die in that comic, sort of. So
I think they've
because they wouldn't mind.
they've set up Miles to a point where he could replace Peter.
Yeah.
In the story, it's just them finding the right moment to kill him off.
Yeah, trying to be careful of how they can do that. Yeah, like.
But it's also how far.
Because I still want to have Peter and Spider-Man go up against Green Goblin, you know, and have some sort of tragic event between him and Green Goblin.
It won't hit the same if it's Miles.
That's what I mean. I'd rather it be Peter rather than Miles, because Peter has more relationship to Norman Osborn, you know. So this is what I mean. There's multiple outcomes that could happen in this game, and we still can't tell what it could be. Because they could still surprise us with this, like they did with the first game, you know?
Yeah.
There could be another real relationship they're building up. Because, like, I was bummed when the first game had Peter and Doc Ock sort of developing their relationship. I was bummed that he became bad guy. I was like, oh, fucking hell, I don't want him to be a bad guy now. I really love this father-son relationship they have.
First time I've actually liked Doc Ock.
Yeah, like, you know, it was really, like, a strong relationship they had, you know? So I reckon it'd be the same similar situation with this, where Peter and Miles start to sort of lose their grip with each other because of what Peter's doing right now as Venom, supposedly as Venom. So I don't know what else to say other than that. Like, we could get a mix of storylines of Kraven's Last Hunt, Spider-Man No More, the Green Goblin kills a loved one, you know, like. Miles could have a tragic story, so there's so much they could do. I heard that this is going to be quite a dark story the more the game goes on. So
they could set up a Venom game, bring out a Venom game where you fight Carnage.
Interesting you say that. So my theory for DLC, if Venom survives at the end of this game and Eddie Brock is in it, somehow comes into fruition, DLC content. People have wanted it since Ultimate Spider-Man, because it was the last game you could play as Venom, and it was fucking sick. Venom, Lethal Protector, as the name of the DLC content. It's a free part, sort of like how the Black Cat one was. How sick would that be? He'll have a completely different moveset as well. Like, you'll be wreaking havoc trying to save people, but kill people. Like, it's insane. Like, can you imagine that? Surely you'd want that.
Oh yeah.
How sick would that be, man? So
the problem is whether or not Sony would want to basically tread the same path that they did with the films.
How do you mean?
Obviously, Venom being the main character doesn't happen as much as Spider-Man being the main character. They've got a Venom film and they've done Venom versus Carnage in film as well.
Yeah.
It's whether they're going to want to, so soon after that, make a whole DLC portion of a game about it. They might not give a shit and do it anyway.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like Sony have been quite fluid and a bit more free with how they do their Spider-Man properties now. So I could see it happening.
Yeah.
You know, so Venom's just such a big Spider-Man villain, one of the most unique villains for Spider-Man to date. Like, that he's just too popular not to do something with him later on. If they're teasing him for this game, I want him to stick around at least. You know, because there's just so many possibilities they could do with him later on. So, do you reckon Miles will get the black suit? Because I way back when they first revealed the game, I heard from someone, I don't know if it was even real. You knew Peter was going to get the black suit, but I heard that Miles could possibly get the black suit as well at some point. And it'll be the same case with his different costumes. The black suit will be different as well for each costume. I just don't see it now after seeing that showcase.
Yeah.
I don't think he'd want to get that black suit off straight away.
I think Miles seeing Peter like that is not gonna spur him on to do the same thing. Talking about other Sony properties though, do you think they're gonna add in any other links to maybe some movies that are gonna be coming out?
How do you mean? Maybe
the fact that they're in the trailer for the new Welcome to Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh yes, they'll definitely do some costumes for that from the film.
But like you see Sony Spider-Man from the game
in the movie.
In the movie.
There is a there was a TV spot of some sort where he is in it. I mean, you see him in the main trailer anyway.
Do we think maybe?
And it's the first time you see the gliders actually. Before this showcase even came out.
Maybe we'll see an explanation as to how
Yeah,
the fuck
like
he got there.
somehow. Yeah, I know. I see what you mean now. Because there was like, I was a bit worried about if there was going to be some sort of connection to that. Because I really want the game, Spider-Man game, to be its own thing. I don't want it connected to any of the movies, especially not MCU. Maybe they could reference the Across the Spider-Verse to see how he's even ended up there in the first place. Maybe the game could open up him coming back from that universe. I don't know, depending how that film ends. Definitely going to see that next weekend. Yeah, like because I don't even know if this Miles is even in that film. It'd be cool if it was. Imagine that Miles and the movie Miles interacting.
Well, yeah, because the only mention that we've seen is mention of Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
In that trailer.
Yeah.
Mention of Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
With Doctor Strange. And
with
that.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Messing some shit up. They don't even mention it. It's just the fact that you see Insomniac Spider-Man hiding away in the background.
Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure, wasn't he part of the pointing meme in that trailer as well? Yeah. So you do see him in that, like, clearly. And like, does he have a big involvement? Like,
or maybe he's just a cameo in the film, and then they're gonna make absolutely no link or suggestion.
That'll
to
probably be
the
the
game
safer
at all.
bet, not to link it and just take it for how it is and just enjoy it.
And
like,
leave up to interpretation as to when this version of Peter was able to find out about multiversal travel and hang out with a whole bunch of other Spideys.
I mean, with all his gadgets in this game, it wouldn't surprise me if you could kind of develop something like that. So, I don't know what else to say for the story. What to expect? I don't know what villains we could see, like we said before, because I just don't see any other villains being a part of this.
I don't think we've seen enough to work out who is going to be the main villain, if there even is a main villain, and it's not just basically a clusterfuck of rogues that you've got to fight all at once.
Imagine a Sinister 12. That'd be insane. Could we? Do you know? There's a thought. Could we see Octavius come back, and maybe Peter or Miles would want to go for him to help? Maybe by that point he's sort of starting to get a better, like his mind's starting to heal, and maybe he wants to sort of help out with Peter and Miles to make up for what he did.
Norman in No Way Home.
Yeah.
Towards the
Something
start,
like that.
where he's he's starting to get better,
Mm.
and then
Save.
goes completely the wrong way.
Yeah. So maybe we could see something like that. Because I don't see
And
Octavius
that-
like staying out of the picture for so long.
That actually, if that does happen with Norman, that might be an in for them to kill off Miles's mum. If he's all chummy with them now,
Yeah.
easy way for him to get close to her. Something happens, he freaks out,
Yeah.
kills her, does basically the same to Aunt May as he did to Aunt May in No Way Home.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then that could always lead on to Miles wanting the Venom suit to kill.
Because the symbiote would sense that rage, like the sadness.
To kill Norman.
Norman, yeah.
Maybe.
Again, I would still prefer Peter versus Norman though,
And
because it just doesn't make sense for it to be Miles.
Yeah.
So especially with Harry and such, that friendship is more Peter's situation, you know. So I hope that not too many people die, because it's just gonna be fucking clusterfuck of people dying.
Because
But it's just there's just infinite possibilities there that with how this story and dark path could go.
I don't think we've seen enough to work out really.
Yeah.
It's just speculation at this point, and hoping that maybe some Insomniac execs here are please.
Oh, they are. I'm pretty sure they have. You know. So other than that, I'm very excited. For just going back on the traversal stuff. Now that we get to expand out of New York City and going to Queens, where Peter grew up and went to school at, if Eddie Brock's in this, would we get to go to San Francisco? Maybe they could set up for the Venom DLC, where he's a protector in his city.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool. And Miles, maybe Miles moves out of New York City, depending how the end of this game works. He goes back to Brooklyn, maybe, rather than staying in Harlem. Imagine all the different areas you could go to, because they have the next gen for it. They could make the world so much bigger, which I heard was going to be. So I literally cannot wait to start swinging at the beginning of the game. After I've done the main like first chapter, I'm fucking swinging everywhere, and I really hope they let you swing to God knows where, and you don't have to unlock it at a certain point in the story. I really hope they don't do that, because one of the things I loved about the first game, it was the first free roam Spider-Man game in so long that's got me that excited since probably either Spider-Man 2 the game or Ultimate Spider-Man. I know there's been some free roam ones since then, like the Amazing Spider-Man games of Andrew Garfield's sort of universe, but I didn't like the swinging mechanics in that as much. So when the PS4 Spider-Man game came out and it plays that song and you see him jump out the window and it tells you to start swinging, I had such a big smile on my face of how different it felt. And I really felt like I was playing. Yeah. I was Spidey. And that song just really did the trick as well. And I really want something like that to excite me again.
There's also what they're going to do with PS5 controls.
Oh yeah, the update they're doing for that.
Yeah.
Like maybe you could feel the web shooter coming out or something like that.
Adaptive triggers, but also just like shock and vibrations because
feel the web hitting the building or something.
There's so much extra that they've added to it in terms of getting you into the gameplay.
Yeah, like
it's not going to be something key to the game, because otherwise they won't be able to make a PS4 version unless they just come out with just a PS5 version of the game.
Oh no, it's going to be a PS5 version of the game, I think.
But
so,
whether
I don't know. I'm sure it'll be PC later.
Yeah.
But
so I don't know. I just want to see more Venom.
More Venom. I reckon
the
next like sort of showcases I heard is probably going to be around June or August.
To be honest, I wouldn't.
So we could see more Venom and more of the story.
I wouldn't even be that mad if Venom is only in Spider-Man 2 to set him up for Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be that mad.
Yeah.
I would be a little bit mad, but not.
I don't know, man, because obviously, if they made Venom the big villain for that teaser, surely Venom is the big bad.
Would show him as the big bad.
Yeah. Best thing about it is his boss fight. You're going to be using like sounds and fire and stuff. I'm hoping there's quick time and team attacks for the boss fights with Lizard, Venom, and all that.
One thing we didn't think about is that obviously we're trying to think about the big bad of the game, but we've got two main characters. So it could be set up that maybe as Peter you go up against Venom.
Yeah.
And as Miles, at the very same time, you go up against Kraven. So you could
that'd be sick.
You could have a
have their own
fight.
thing. It's a quick time thing.
Yeah, you could have a boss fight going on. Two boss fights going on at the same time.
Yeah.
And then having to switch between them.
Yeah. Spider-Man Edge of Time was like that. I don't know if you played that. It involved you with Peter and 2099 as the main characters, which was a really fun game. And at the end, it involved you fighting like there's a person you fight as I think 2099.
Yeah.
And you also, do you know about Anti-Venom being in that game?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, Anti-Venom's in that. You sort of, but something happens to Anti-Venom later on in the game, but I won't spoil what. But Peter fights him in that. But because it's a whole paradox going on in that game, everything you do in the game changes the opposite person's universe. Those two boss fights, you're fighting at the same time. So you play as 2099, for example, for a few minutes, and then it switches to Peter the next. They're both fighting at the same time to. I could see that for Peter and Miles. They could do that.
Cool.
It's something we've seen before.
That would explain why it seems so confusing between the two. Of Kraven seems like the obvious choice for the main bad guy just from what we've seen, but we also know for a fact that they've duped us before.
Yeah.
And
the bad guy turned out to be someone else.
Yeah, and in that case, Venom seems to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
So
this is why I think that we could see Green Goblin as a possibility surprise villain. If Harry dies, that would make Norman insane and get revenge on Peter.
I'd say maybe a whole bunch of shit happens. That Kraven Venom dual boss fight happens, and then by the end of it, the last boss fight is Green Goblin.
Yeah. I can see it because they tease the pumpkin bombs and they tease the mask
with the Venom
in the first game.
Green Goblin Venom, maybe.
I mean, we've had Carnage Goblin, the Red Goblin. That was a sick run. I've got the issues of that. It's really awesome.
So that could always
again, Carnage could be the surprise villain.
We could have a Carnage Goblin.
Yeah. Oh, can you imagine Spider Carnage as a costume?
Well, because we know that Norman was looking into symbiotes as cure for Harry.
Yeah.
So
which again was an idea for the Ultimate Comics version.
So we don't know that he's just got the Venom suit. Mm-hmm. He could also have Carnage.
A part of me does hope it's
Riot and
he could have somehow amplified the Venom suit into Carnage somehow. He still had a piece of Venom left before the whole thing was on Harry. Maybe.
That's the issue. Is if they do bring Carnage in,
I still hope it's an alien still.
I don't want them. Yeah, I don't want them to change it like that.
I never liked the idea of it being a suit they somehow created.
I would want Venom to still be the same Venom, and that Carnage is the offspring.
Yeah,
of Venom.
yeah.
I feel like that's the only way to do it right. For it to have just been, Norman created the Venom.
Yeah.
Suit, and it's just,
Because then it would make his Green Goblin formula a bit more redundant if he just kept being involved with the symbiote like formulas and stuff. I don't know, but yeah, we could get Carnage, we could get Green Goblin. I'm gonna say those are the two surprise villains we could get. I could see that happening. So
I'd love Carnage in it.
Carnage would be fucking sick in this game, mate. I fucking hope so. But again, he's a possibility of villain for the Lethal Protector DLC if Venom is a DLC character. So
maybe he is the end credits.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we see inside, because obviously the last two Spider-Man games with Spider-Man and Miles Morales.
I'm hoping Cleese Cassidy is referencing this at least.
We've seen basically the same sort of thing in terms of post credits with seeing Harry's progress. So maybe the post credits for Spider-Man 2 could be, Norman's lab, Harry's gone. For whatever reason that I assume we'll find out about in this.
Yeah.
And you see in the background a red
goo
sort of
moving around him, yeah.
Like with how they set up how they were trying to set up the Sinister Six for Andrew Garfield's films.
In a way,
they had it the end of
the guy was walking past the machines when they see the Doc Ock arms and stuff.
All of that.
And the Venom suit. Yeah. Could see that, yeah. It's weird. There's still so much we don't know. Well, there's a lot of things we do know, but at the same time, there's still so much we don't know. If that makes sense. There's still so much that
sort of.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to explain that. So yeah, because this game I think is gonna be a pretty big game. I can see it. Big storyline, bigger world. Very exciting stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing more stuff and start to piece everything together and have more predictions and theories to talk about in the near future.
Yeah.
So yeah. There we go, guys. I think we're going to end it there. This has gone long enough. Rob, thank you so much for joining me in the discussion video, mate. I hope you had a good time.
Yeah.
So there was a lot to say there. So many ideas and possibilities we could see happen in the game that I'm hoping most of it does come true in terms of to make it true to a Spider-Man storyline, lots of tragicness, unfortunately, lots of darkness, lots of traversal elements I cannot wait to get into, so looking forward to that. Thank you so much for watching. Let us know what you want to see in the game. Is there anything you've agreed and disagreed with us?
Drop a like.
Drop a like, comment, let us know what you think, what you're looking forward to see, and we'll see you next time. Take care, guys, and have a fantastic day. Thank you, Rob, for joining me. Take care.
Bye.
See you later.